Cebo, thank you, bro. You gave us the green light to illuminate this wonderful story you have put together for us, Sky Full of Elephants. And we want to lift it up magically and wonderfully and powerfully because this is a great story. It illuminates so much going on, so much freedom is within this story. And we want to do all that we can to bring so much light to this unique, wonderful, colorful story. Thank you for all the hard work that was put into this work. And thank you for the green light that was given to us on HummingPod to continue your book going forward. This is a book club podcast, Humans of the Ocean Science Book Club. For short, we call it Humming Podcast. And go follow us at Pulsating Books if you're listening in for more Cebo Campbell updates according to this book specifically. And we will be continually working hard. Check us out on Spotify, Humming Pod. Your host signing out. And tap into this video.
Last rays of sun trapped under the porch overhang. Seeing Ethel up close, the way her eyes studied him as though skimming the volumes of his life, Charlie folded his arms and shuffled nervously,
We are
pondering the
listening
ground.
to Full of
She asked,
Elephants.
"And where are they from?"
Chapter-
"Michigan, just
We are
outside of
quite
Detroit.
a
We're from
way
around that area.
into-
My mother's maiden name was Smith.
I'm still
And
taking
her mother
small
before
steps
that?
into getting
Can't
this
say.
book into the
Don't know what
rotation
name
of
came before
everything
that."
because
She
it's
smiled,
very
a
important.
row of
and
lovely
we
white
do have
teeth.
the okay to do.
"Ain't that
to
about the
to do
whole
great
of it?"
things.
"How do you mean?"
We will.
"We finally inherited the
But we
earth
wanna
and
do it
can't
the
remember
right
who
way,
we was
the
back
first
when it
shot.
was promised to us to begin with."
No misses.
She chuckled through a sly huff of breath.
So let us be
"Come
patient
on in,
with it.
Charles,
I'm gonna order
and
some
I'll make you
coffee
some dinner. I
for
suspect
me
that
and
car gonna at least
some
need the
people
knife to
in
finish doing what it's doing."
maybe
Charlie
to
followed her
use,
inside the house where the
and
air
we will
smelled
get
sweet
that
and
popping,
warm,
of course.
like hard candy melted
Now,
down. The
right now, what
radiator
I'm doing
hissed
is
throughout the house.
recording
Charlie noted the flower-patterned couches and the
while I
wood
write.
complaining under his steps.
Let us listen.
He followed Ethel down a hall lined with family photos. The photos made up her family,
On
not
Spotify,
someone
you can
else's like those
see
in the home he'd claimed.
the video
School
here
portraits,
of
group
everything.
photos on
You'll
that
be able to see
same
it on
porch out
Spotify.
front. Generations going back to the grainy film photos of the 50s and 60s. This house was Ethel's home long before the event.
Let's rewind it.
Hitting Ethel up close, fronting. "And you didn't," she said. She sat back in the shadows, alarmed, proving his theory that the burn had indeed not way. Everything, everywhere, coated in blackness. He wanted to kick himself for not pushing harder to map the charging stations with greater detail. But it didn't much matter this far out of the city. Whether he decided to go back where he came from or keep moving forward, either way, he'd eventually run out of power before he found a place to recharge. His charge dropped down to 1%, and his heart in concert. No sign showed the char giving way. 1% and an afternoon sun. That's all Charlie had left. Then, in the distance, and like a raft in the open sea, a house poked up on the horizon. The 1% charge held on, like the car knew Charlie's life clung to it, as the house neared and Charlie saw the burning stop like a line in the sand. There was a lawn, proving his theory that the burn had indeed not been wild but managed. Rage in a blister. And, at the edge of that contrast, a yellow house on a slope not far behind. Charlie didn't believe in God, but seeing that house, amid all that lifelessness, his relief sprung to the edge of spiritual. A driveway, well swept next to a tended lawn, welcomed him just as every function in his car shut down all at once. The little yellow house rose much bigger up close. Empty. Dark. 3 stories high, with large, unshuttered windows and a wraparound porch. The house looked every bit like the type of country home Charlie might have cautioned himself approaching. But no one living, certainly no one he should fear, occupied that house. Not anymore. Still, he felt the phantoms of alarm in his chest, alarms he knew he would never be able to fully quiet. Just around the back of the house, sheets of light reflected off 3 rows of solar panels. Good panels, too, well-tended and south-facing. 2 covered power outlets were coupled at the base of the porch. That those panels, adjacent scorched wasteland, remained clean and those outlets functional called to the guile in his mind for a closer look. But he went on quietly with the business of getting his car wired up and charging. And to his delight, the charge fired right up. He figured he'd just spend the night in this house, or in the car if the night and its empty whispers became unnerving. That should be enough power to get him to Wisconsin. Then he noticed her, an old woman sitting on the porch. Silently, she watched him go through the motions. "Oh, sorry, ma'am, I didn't see you." "No, you didn't," she said. She sat back in the shadows, not moving at all in her rocking chair. The shadows pronounced her wrinkles, and her repose suggested a fragility the strength in her voice defied. "Seems to be you got more problems than worrying about me." Charlie squinted his eyes to see her. Southern accent, Southern mannerisms, skin like the shell of a pecan. Her presence seemed to offer Charlie contentment. Safe was the word that came to mind. He felt safe. His own mother died while he stared at prison walls. On that porch, under those shadows, he felt some part of her ghost looking out at him. To not walk up on that porch and hug her took a powerful resolve, whoever she was. "I'm sorry," Charlie wiped his feet. "I haven't lost my manners. My name is Charles. Charles Brunton. And you are?" "Ethel." No, she wasn't rocking her chair, but her presence swayed with the gentleness of highway grass. "Ethel, would you mind me using your power to charge my car?" she said, looking up at the sun. "Ain't mine to give." "Come on up here on the porch, Charles, and let me have a look at you." Nervously, Charlie climbed up the short steps to meet her. The last rays of sun trapped under the porch overhang. Seeing Ethel up close, the way her eyes studied him as though skimming the volumes of his life, Charlie folded his arms and shuffled nervously, pondering the ground. "Who is your peoples?" she asked. "And where are they from?" "Michigan, just outside of Detroit. We're from around that area. My mother's maiden name was Smith." "And her mother before that?" "Can't say. Don't know what name came before that." She smiled, a row of lovely white teeth. "Ain't that about the whole of it?" "How do you mean?" "We finally inherited the earth and can't remember who we was back when it was promised to us to begin with." She chuckled through a sly huff of breath. "Come on in, Charles, and I'll make you some dinner. I suspect that car gonna at least need the night to finish doing what it's doing." Charlie followed her inside the house where the air smelled sweet and warm, like hard candy melted down. The radiator hissed throughout the house. Charlie noted the flower-patterned couches and the wood complaining under his steps. He followed Ethel down a hall lined with family photos. The photos made up her family, not someone else's like those in the home he'd claimed. School portraits, group photos on that same porch out front, generations going back to the grainy film photos of the 50s and 60s. This house was Ethel's home long before the event. Ethel led him into the kitchen, where she gestured for him to sit at a fully dressed table set for 8, complete with doily placements, candles, and cutlery. Seemed strange to Charlie that such a table would be set for just the 2 of them. "Are you expecting company?" "You're here, ain't you? You're saying you expected me? These days you can't really say no more what somebody should or shouldn't be expecting. You get me? It's just logical. You're here because everything else out there is burned up. All there is to it. Somebody's always arriving, and I'm always expecting." She didn't speak another word and went on making dinner. In the fridge, she had stored leftover beans and rice, and fillets of fish already cleaned and ready. She even had a roll of dough, enough to bake a few biscuits. While the fish fried and the sides warmed, she soaked collards in a pot and cut up peppers to make something new. His dinner was somewhere in between leftovers from the person before him and new dishes that would become leftovers for the next person to arrive. Ethel said nothing at all until his
I got a question. When you listen to that intro right there, what do you hear? What environment do you see? Do you see any colors? Do you see any personality? What does the woman look like? Does she look short, skinny, chunky? Does she look healthy? Does she look strong? Does she look motherly? Does she look homeless? Does she look well put together? What does this scene look like? Does he look scared? Does he look like he is on a man on a mission? When you see that scene by Cebo Campbell, what do you see? I want to ask that question.